resources through our LPG stove, and that cannot be renewed once you have traveled with your bike or scooty for certain kilometers. Certain amount of petrol has been exhausted. 1 liter, if you have utilized for 50 kilometer, then again you have to take another 1 liter that has been exhausted, means completely utilized. So we should be aware in using non-renewable resources or minerals. We should utilize it very properly and judiciously on the basis of ownership. Individual resources, you are owning a flat, a house, a bungalow, your car, your laptop, mobile phone. Those resources are your own. It's of not anyone's. These are also owned privately by people, those who have been allotted by the government, or on you have purchased it. In villages, there are people with land ownership, but there are many who are landless. Urban people own plots, houses, and other property, plantation, pasture, and lands, ponds, watering wells. And the things you are owing, your parents are owing, your grandparents are owing, those are totally comes under individual resources. Now, community owned resources are those resources which can be utilized by a lots of people, mass, like community hall in the village, or common place of grazing in the villages, common grounds where fair are organized, where children go and play their different kinds of games, burial grounds, like all those things are community owned resources, ponds, wells, public parks, picnic spots, playgrounds in urban areas are the for all the people. Those things are not individually owned. So it is simple that those are community owned resources. Now, national resources. What are national resources? Within our geographical area, very simple. Within our geographical area, if you look at the map, within the physical map of India, all the resources are our individuals, private, community, but wherever central government of India required that thing can take over paying the amount or rehabilitating the person whose property or land has been acquired. It's very simple. All the resources are ours, but within the physical boundary, physical map of India, all the property belong to the central government of India. Very simple. You can, through the book, understand like this. Technically, all the resources belong to the nation. The country has legal powers to acquire even private property for public good. You might have come to know that अरे उसकी जमीन चली गई किसमें तो 4 लेन या 6 लेन बनाने में, अरे उसकी जमीन चली गई रेलवे ट्रैक कंस्ट्रक्शन में एरोड्रम बनाने में, तो क्या है, व्हाट इज दिस? Whenever central government requires, can acquire our property. And here also it has been written that you might have seen roads, canals, railways being constructed on fields owned by some individuals. Urban development authorities get empowered by the government to acquire land, all the minerals, water resources, forests, wildlife, land within the political boundaries and oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles. And here nautical miles are prescribed if 1 nautical mile is 1.2 kilometer. So you can almost understand from the coast termed as territorial water and resources therein belong to the nation, and only one country, our country, on the name of our country, one ocean has been named, and that is Indian Ocean, and we have been permitted through the international bodies to mine manganese ore. Okay, so now international resources. There are international institutions which regulate some resources. The oceanic resources beyond 200 nautical miles of the exclusive economic, that is EEZ, belong to open ocean and no individual country can utilize these without the concurrence of the international institution, but we have been permitted by the international body, that is EE zone has been opened for India. And here it is very important in the box that do you know that India has got the right to mine manganese nodules from the bed of the Indian Ocean, from that area which lies beyond the EEZ, identifies some other resources which are international in nature. But we have to first just remember this, that we have been permitted by the exclusive economic zone to mine the manganese nodules from the Indian Ocean. So, on the basis of the status of development, there is a potential resource, means a resource which is found in a region, but till now it has not been properly utilized. For example, the western parts of India, particularly Rajasthan and Gujarat, which have enormous potential for the development of wind and solar energy. But so far, these have not been developed properly. अच्छे से यूटिलाइज नहीं हुआ. अब इसमें अच्छे से यूटिलाइज कौन करेगा? आप तो नहीं करोगे, मैं तो नहीं करूंगा. It is the duty of state and central government or public partnership. इस पे बाद में डिस्कशन करेंगे. But that becomes potential resource, means you have the potential to become the topper of CBSE exams, like that. Solar and wind energy, enormous in the states of Rajasthan and Gujarat, but till date it has not been properly utilized or developed. Now, developed resources. Resources which are surveyed. Surveyed means, you understand, surveying means physically going to the spot, counting it, seeing it, or questionnaires are there whose answers are later on decided and written. Surveying, and their quantity and quality have been determined for utilization. And these are developed resources. For example, you can say uh, on the basis of technological feasibility, we can say that as many as wells of crude oils we are having, the mines of coal we are having, we know that we are having. How much years in future those things are going to be lost, and those becomes developed resources. Now, stock materials in the environment which have the potential to satisfy human needs, but human beings do not have the appropriate technology to access these, are included among stock. For example, water is a compound of two gases. Water is a compound of two gases, that is hydrogen and oxygen. H2, chemical name H2O. But do we have technology that hydrogen gas and combining oxygen with hydrogen gas, we can make water? No. In the world, this type of technology has not come till date. Scientists are working, yes, that is continuous process, but till date it has not been confirmed. So this becomes a stock. It can be utilized when we will technologically can combine hydrogen gas and oxygen in bulk and make water for our needs, satisfying our needs. So now reserves. Reserves are the subset of the stock. In ninth, you have studied in the mass chapter what is set and what is the subset of that set. So reserves are the subset of the stock which can be put into use with the help of existing technical know-how, but their use has not been started. These can be used for meeting future requirements. Moreover, it is mostly like you can say the potential resources. Almost if you compare the potential resources and reserves, will find the similarity like water generating electricity with hydroelectric power, but presently it is being utilized only to a very limited extent. So thus the water in the dams, forest, etc. is a reserve which can be used in the future. So for today, I think we are concluding and see you tomorrow. Till then, take care and revise that.